Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Love Island the Morning After. Today you are joined by me, Indiyah Polack.
Me, Amy Hart, and our fabulous guest for this week, Joe Bags. You're back again.
Good morning to you both, and good morning everyone at home.
What a week you picked.
I'm having the best week of my life.
Casa Amor Fallout, and now movie night tonight.
And off the back of After Sun as well.
Wow.
What a week.
What a week.
Let's get straight into it.
Let's do it.
The episode started with some fond farewells. We had some dumping. Obviously, we had the 4 people that didn't get picked from Casa. So we had Rio, Yaz, Chris, and Martin. So they said goodbye. Obviously, Rio and Yaz had come in and sort of said their piece. What did we think of that with Rio?
They didn't go without a fight, did they?
No.
Harry strikes again.
No, you can elaborate. Like you
How
can,
bad are we
you can
talking?
elaborate.
Well, I mean, there was kisses in bed, there was like all sorts of cuddles.
I feel like she said it quite eloquently, but I think she needed to say that, and I'm glad she did, because everyone needed to know about Harry's behaviour. It was quite shocking about how neither Harry nor Helena really cared about what she was saying, but at least she got to vocalise it.
The fact is, Rio's come in there. Obviously, it's really daunting. You've got all these people sat that you don't know.
She looked phenomenal, by the way.
It looked like 2 bombshells were
It
coming
did.
into the villa.
At least the revenge looks were on point, because they looked phenomenal.
So she had to sort of bear her truth, talk about what she'd done and the fact that it hadn't really sort of worked out for her. And Helena and Harry are both laughing. And even Maya said, she said, I wouldn't be laughing if I was in a couple with him. And I feel like that was Maya sort of sticking up for the girls, being like, don't laugh in their faces. Obviously, it does actually mean things to people.
Yeah, 100%. I think it was a bit of both as well. I think she's obviously seen the fallout between, Harry, Rio, and Helena. And it's sort of like, girl, we just want you to stand up a little bit, you know? We did see Helena laughing. Now, I don't know if it was a bit of a nervous giggle or if she's just genuinely does not care about, Harry's behaviour. I mean, she likes to compare them and be like, we're the same. I know he's doing it, like, we're the same person. But I do think it just gets to a point where she needs to put herself first. And even Rio, Emma, all the girls are saying, Helena, you deserve better.
I think it's a case where she's a little bit embarrassed. And I think that her way of disguising that and masking that is to be quite like jokey, and she hides a lot with humour. But I think that in Love Island that can only get you so far, where like surely this is upsetting to you. Like I wouldn't want to sit, I know you guys wouldn't either. So, and especially at a Casa recoupling. So I think Maya was well within her right to say, this is bad, it's not great on you guys.
And the whole like we're the same person thing, it's like if you think about what he did with Yaz, what he did with Shakira, what he's done with Rio at Casa Amor, he's come back, he's then slagged off Emma when he didn't need to and stuff. And it's like, we're the same person. Like, don't do yourself down. Like, don't do yourself down. You're a nice person.
He's no saint. You know what I mean, Helena? Like, please just get it together. I totally agree with you. And I think that it's not necessarily sometimes a good thing to be like, me and my man are so similar. That could actually do more harm than good.
It can do more harm because you know what? I know a lot of people do say, birds of a feather do flock together. But I don't actually agree with that. Because sometimes guys be doing certain things and I'm like, I don't agree with that one.
No, move over, David Attenborough. India's got some new theories.
Right.
We are so back.
Now, a bit of a shock to everyone in the villa around the fire pit.
Not to people on the outside.
Not to people on the
in
outside. Tommy came back with new bombshell, Lucy.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I wasn't shocked by this. I think they got along in Casa. As said a few episodes ago, I don't think him and Emily's connection was that strong. But everyone else seemed to think different, you know?
Toni said, not sure you had it in you.
Are we watching the same show here?
I think that was due to what Emily was talking about and how she was carrying herself through Casa. And I think that they were just directly around that. I think we as viewers were like, what have we missed? Do I think Tommy's a bad person? No. As much as everyone thought, didn't know he had it in him. I mean, what did he have in him? He just met someone like them and brought them back from Casa. It's not really the most evil thing you could do. And it wasn't in your face and it wasn't mean. And even you saw when Emily exited, like, he was genuinely upset. He was genuinely, like, shook by that conversation with her, just being like, you're so lovely, I'm so sorry. And so I don't think that the recoupling was bad on his part in any way.
It is kind of rubbing the salt in the wound, I think, because, again, I feel like, they're leading their friend Emily along, making her feel like she had this real strong couple with Tommy and, we can't believe he's moved on. It's a little bit crap for Tommy because when he was in there, you guys were all calling him cute. No one wanted to couple up with him. You were treating him like, the husband of the villa, but that was just a friend zone. Yeah. And now he's coming out his shell, he's going to know people, he's going to find love. You're gunning him for it.
He was collateral damage on the evening of the recoupling purely because everyone else doesn't really care that much about each other. And he had a little bit more with Emily than other couples. I think that's purely it. Yeah. I don't think Tommy's a bad guy whatsoever. Not. I think he's really sweet. I just think that Emily was obviously feeling away with the Conor situation, and I think maybe she found comfort in Tommy, and that was almost like her comfort blanket being ripped away from her, and now she's out in the cold.
Do we think this is going to be, the one for Tommy and Lucy?
I'm unsure.
I'm unsure. I'd like to think so because I feel like he does deserve someone to be all for him. I really hope she is. We don't know who's round the corner.
And I feel like there's many more surprises to come. Yeah. I mean, there's been enough this week. Bring it on.
Bring it on. I can't wait to see what we do. Bombshell entrances, shocking twists, and stunning pre-love fashion. Could the villa get any better? Let's dive into all the Love Island fits with eBay. It was a heart-racing start to the week with Harry making tough decisions between Shakira and Helena. Thankfully, he kept his cool in a pre-love pattern shirt worn previously by Series 11's Omar. Helena followed suit with a spin on the Georgia varsity jacket worn by Villa bestie Emily during eBay's preppy Americana party. Just goes to show a great statement pre-love piece slays every time. And after setting things straight with Harrison earlier in the week, birthday girl Toni got the greatest gift, turning heads in the gorgeous metallic Bronx and Banco dress last seen on All-Star 2's Grace and rekindling their fiery romance once again. That's the power of pre-loved. So if you're looking to turn heads this season, meet the one in Pre-Loved and eBay, sponsors of Love Island. Last night, another situation came to a head. Meg and Dejon, obviously, famously not closed off. He's been to Casa, he's come back on his own, still not wanting to close it off, still wanting to get to know Andrada, or should we call her Andrama?
Ooh.
Yes. She's bringing all the dramas tonight. So obviously she coupled up with Ben.
Yeah.
Basically to get back to the villa so she could get to know Dejon in front of Meg. I mean, Meg was not pleased about any of this. Do we think Meg is justified?
Come on, I feel like after Casa Amor, if things don't start getting closed off, that's when we need to be worried because that is the ultimate Love Island test, and I feel like she sat there on that terrace and she named word for word all the girls.
5 girls.
5 girls that Dejon has been talking to and having connections with. And it's when you hear it out loud, it's a bit like, oh, maybe you have been having a bit of fun and you need to kind of pack it in now,
I'm actually proud of our Meg.
She's our Meg. She's not your Meg, Dejon. She's our Meg.
She's our Meg. Because I think the penny finally dropped. Not that it hasn't with her, but I think she really stood on the fact that, wait, this is a bit disrespectful.
100%.
You've had this ultimate test that you've been telling me is the ultimate test in Love Island. You've still come back. You're still doing it in front of my face even more than before. And, she didn't have a recoupling. She's decided to stay in her couple, but she should have a renaming of her bottle from my Meg to my mug. Which I thought was an iconic line from tonight. But the one thing I would say as well is that I'm happy with the way the conversation also ended because I was kind of expecting her to say, okay, well, let's just close things off. But she was really like, no, this is so unacceptable.
Obviously, Dejon had 2 chats with Andrada. He had the one where she said, do you want to go to the hideaway? He was like, no, thank you. And he said, I'd like to get to know you, and they said, do you want to rip my clothes off? And then in a complete
strange conversation, wasn't it?
Then he went up to see Meg and she was like, this is the ultimatum. You've got to decide,
yes,
is it me or is it her? After Meg's ultimatum, he went and ended things with Andrada and said, I have something really good with Meg. And he thought he was going to have his big moment. He was going to take us to the terrace and close things off, and it didn't go to plan.
It fell so flat.
It did, but I'm just glad. I think he needed to understand the severity of the situation.
Yeah,
how
100%.
She's genuinely feeling, because she's been so upset. And she did say she's been crying so much more than she ever has in the villa.
Yeah.
And also the boys were consoling her today, which I think is a big deal.
Yeah. I thought Harry was going to snog her at one point.
Gosh.
And I thought, what a twist for this series. It couldn't get more chaotic. And I think that Dejon has taken the open thing way too literally. I genuinely think he's taken that word for word from her and been like, you've said we are open, so I'm open. But I think the way she said it all along is like, you can be open to a conversation.
Yeah.
But he's open. He even did it again last night. He said to her like, but we're open. And she's looking like, I don't think you understand what that means, you know?
And I think open also comes with, open in hopes that we are going to close soon, you know? It's not staying in bed with me, kissing me all night, telling me all these sweet nothings to then not have any intention about closing it off. I feel like when he did have that conversation with Andrada around the fire pit and she was saying, oh, are you sexually attracted to me? He's like, I'm sexually attracted to you. I personally feel like that was a whole setup because one thing I think Andrada wants him to do is say things with his whole mouth so she can be like, well, you did say it, because he has a thing for being like, well, I didn't say that.
We all know what's coming tonight.
We all know what's coming tonight, and that is going to be...
She was creating content. Thank you, Andrada,
she was
for
like,
your service.
Are you sexually attracted to me? It was definitely a bit of that.
It was.
But I am happy about Meg standing on business and actually not really falling for the whole trap of him being like, oh, I want to close things off with you now. Because like she said, if she didn't give him a grilling earlier in the morning, when would you have come to that decision? And she shouldn't have to force you. It should come naturally.
Things like this, although they must be really hard for Meg, there's a lot of people watching who are probably in these situations. Yeah. And to see Meg really stand on business and sort of say, no, actually, you need to treat me with more respect. Hopefully, we'll give a lot more of other people's strength.
Definitely. And that's why I was so happy that she finally was getting to that point and she just didn't say, okay, let's close it off and I just want an easy life in the villa.
Yeah.
And I know there was some talk from Harry and Helena about a game plan situation. I don't think that was coming across from Meg last night, but I feel like from Dejon's point of view, there is that undercurrent of, well, what are your intentions by calling her my Meg from the start? Yeah. And who knows what the next couple of days will bring? What I must say is that, given it's movie night, probably tears.
And we will be here to mop them up.
We will. And put them into my mug bottle.
Yeah. Another couple who were dealing with the fallout of Casa Amor last night were Harry and Helena. Obviously, we've now got Emma. She's a side piece to their relationship. She's a new character. Now, he explained everything that happened in Casa Amor, as always. E for economical with the truth. Yes. Do you think he's got off sort of scot-free?
I do think Harry got off pretty scot-free. I feel like, as usual, when Harry explains things that have happened, Helena will kind of nervous laugh it off. I even saw a part when, he sat there and said, yeah, I did say Emma was more attractive than you. And she's like, oh, that's really bad. And then just laughed and went back to normal.
I'm going to play devil's advocate before I say the next thing.
Okay.
One thing about Helena and Harry that I admire is that they are true to their core of who they are.
Yeah.
I don't see them really pretending or playing characters. I actually see them just living as themselves, which is why they get on so well.
Yeah.
Having said that,
however,
I do think it's super damaging in some ways with the way Harry was talking about the situation to Harrison and gassing up the way he had gotten off scot-free. And I think that with movie night approaching, that will not age well. I'm hoping that with Meg and when the penny was dropping, I'm hoping that maybe within the next 24, 48 hours that Helena might have a moment of realisation that will he actually fully commit to me and give me the love I deserve post-Villa experience, But then I'm like, they obviously seem to be super into each other and match that energy, and that's who they are as people. So who are we to also comment on that? It's really difficult. It's really difficult.
I think I agree with you. It becomes difficult a little bit as a viewer when you're watching somebody that you don't maybe share the same morals and values as.
But if that is them, then...
then so be it. But I think we, as a public, as women, as people, we want more for Helena because as you can see now, we can maybe say in one perspective that, Harry's just being himself, but then seeing that conversation with Harrison just goes to show, actually, you don't really care about Helena's feelings and you know what you're doing isn't very nice.
Yeah, and if this is you, well, then do better because I'm worried for her. It's a cycle.
Yeah.
It's ongoing. It's never ending. And I'm worried.
That conversation with him and Harrison and him saying,
when you get to my level, you'll get away with it.
If that gets clipped up.
What is my level? What?
That is crazy work.
Sometimes if there's a lot of drama in Love Island, it goes on till 10:15. I want an 11 o'clock finish tonight. I will only be satisfied with 2 hours of movie night. I want every single video to be shown.
I want an all-night. Yeah. I want every episode so far.
The live feed.
I want the live feed.
I'll watch it on ITVX. That's fine.
Please.
Absolutely fine.
Release the tapes.
Helena and Emma had a chat by the fire pit.
They did.
And she said, are you here for Harry? And she was like, no.
Yeah.
But they all seem to think she is there for Harry. Do we think she is there for Harry?
Absolutely not.
I mean, if she is, she's going about it in a terrible way.
She does not have a game plan.
She has no plan. I don't think so. But I think, again, playing devil's advocate, there is a small smidge of truth with Harry saying that if she isn't in there to get back with him, but she has gone in to constantly speak about Harry, there is a form of agenda there to obviously like bring him back down. Do you understand what I mean? Because there might be a moment where you're like, well, is she actually in there for love? Because even as we saw tonight, she's just chatting to Conor about Harry.
Yeah.
If I was Conor, I'd be a bit like, come on, like, I just want to get to know you and find out your middle name. And
when's your birthday? What's your favourite
colour? So that's kind of where I'm at with that. It's a tricky one because I don't actually know at this point, like, what is going on between them.
To be honest, I don't think she is there for Harry, but I do think, you know, when people say, oh, you know, you're my ex, I wish you well. No, I don't wish you well at all. In hell, you know, if I've got the opportunity to actually tell everyone about your true colours whilst you're in the Love Island villa, so be it.
And it must be really hard if someone's treated you like rubbish. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, they have this undeniable connection. Oh yeah, they're such a great couple. You're going to be like, no.
Now Emma's coming. It's like, I've got the proof. I've got the evidence. You know, he's done it with me. He's doing it with you, Helena. But I do think there is a little sense of care coming in where Emma just doesn't want the same thing that happened to her to potentially happen to Helena.
I think absolutely. And I think the hard thing is sometimes you don't want to listen to what you're being told and you don't want to believe it until you can actually see it clearly and say, okay, now it's time that I see it. And I think that's what Helena's going through at the minute. I think like we saw from that fire pit moment that it was giving therapy at one point.
It was like literally
Maya was getting involved. Everyone was, you know, giving their 2 pence piece. Like Jamie, who's not been a massive character, to stand up and be like, you know, we care for you. I do think with Helena, it's probably that I don't even want to think about it.
Emma needs to be careful though, because Conor has said he doesn't like girls that get involved with confrontation. He doesn't want to be second best. So she needs to be a bit careful there, I think.
I guess he's not a confrontational guy and he doesn't want his other half involved in drama.
He's quite a chilled guy.
He's quite a chilled, laid-back guy. We've seen it kind of give him the ick in past situations before. However, I don't think this is the same kind of thing. But I do think last night should be the end of it. I don't think after last night Emma should ever speak on the Helena and Harry situation again, because you are here for yourself.
Yeah, we've seen very little like kind of coupley nice chat between them for the last couple of nights. She's treading on thin ice with him at the
Casa Amor's done now. Like, Conor's brought you back. Focus on your relationship now, otherwise it's going to get a bit weird.
There's a lot of people coming back to the villa with like different agendas, isn't there?
Yeah, you know?
One thing before we move on from Helena and Harry, when they were chatting, they said, I guess that's us now then. Is that a new way of saying closed off?
No.
I think that they will both find ways around that as long as it's not in writing between them.
It's not legally binding.
It's not legally binding. But I think it shows for the first time a bit more commitment in the way they talk to each other.
But then in the next breath, he said, I'm still going to chat to people. I'm still going to get to know people. I just won't like kiss them in bed and stuff.
Then I retract that statement.
Yeah, I don't think that really means anything. No. I think it just means, you know, for the next 48 hours, we're just going to chill and cuddle and just talk about it.
It could also have meant like the end of the conversation.
You know?
Yeah.
That's us then.
Yeah, that's us then. Let's go grab a drink.
Until the next bombshell comes in. That's literally what it means. Toni and Harrison had a conversation last night. Now, obviously, Toni is now coupled up with Cash and Harrison is coupled up with Lauren. And she did express, she was like, you know what, Harrison, I did expect it from you. And she said, you know, you did it in the villa. You'd do it in front of me. You'd do it in Casa. I was getting the feeling that he was kind of missing Toni. What do we think is going to happen here?
I think him and Lauren had this real initial spark, like snogging all the time. He was like, I really fancy you. I didn't have that with Toni. And I feel like now they're back in the main villa and everyone's there again. They're all chatting and stuff. Maybe it's a bit like, well, I really liked snogging you, but now we're here. Actually, I do prefer sitting chatting with Toni.
That's how it always goes, though, isn't it?
Because they do spar, don't they? Him and Toni. Him and Lauren, it's like, I really fancy you. Yeah, I really fancy you too. Should we kiss? Yeah, let's kiss. That's all we sort of get. Whereas him and Toni, it's like, boom, boom,
yeah,
boom,
she gives
boom.
it to him.
Like, their timing is impeccable. They should be on stage.
Yeah. It's giving gladiators. With the sparring. I do think that they've missed each other. And I think that Toni obviously has a hilarious way of showing that. And even when she was like, you don't want your girlfriend to see this and that type of thing, I just love it. I think that Harrison, this is where I see like a lack of maturity in a way from him, because I feel like the way he went about that conversation was very much like an ego boost sort of thing. He was
100%.
like, you know, like, do you miss me?
Yeah.
Do I look good? You know, she's like, I don't want to give this to you. Like, I don't care. But then I think that upset her because she was missing that joking, that banter, like you said, that also he's not getting, it seems. Because if you were, then why would you even be having that conversation?
Yeah.
And he kept licking his lip.
he was flirting with her. I think he was trying to see if Toni still likes him. Because, you know, I feel like as guys like to do that, you know, they want to see if they still got it.
I think it's a bit of a power trip as well.
100%.
Because he thought he was going to come back with Lauren and she's going to be there on her own, upset, like, oh, I can't believe it. I thought we had something really good. But no, she actually recoupled with him and he's like, oh, so you weren't waiting for me?
Yeah.
Oh, so you think you can do better than me? I think it's a bit of like a power thing.
You always want what you can't have.
Yeah.
All the
And
time.
guys and girls and anyone, you like kind of, if someone's in a relationship, you're like, oh, you know, like, can I get you out of that situation? Am I that good to be able to do that? And there was a bit of that at play, which obviously messed with Toni's head because she was thinking, well, your actions right now and your behaviours aren't matching up.
We did see her get a little bit upset on the terrace with Shakira.
She did.
Now, do we think that is because she wants to be back with Harrison, or is it just as simple as, like, they did have a connection, they were together for quite a long time, and seeing somebody that you used to have a situation with flirt with someone else, kiss other people, it's not
cracking on.
It's not a nice sight, you know? And I feel like she was kind of, you know, battling between herself, like, do I still like this guy, or am I just in a bit of a situation right now?
Yeah, I did love it when Shakira said, I'll go and talk to him and tell him, like, to stay away from you because you're with Cash.
Yeah.
And she went, no, if you lose me, you lose Shakira as well, which is so true.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Do we think Shakira should have said something? Personally, I don't think so.
I totally agree with both Shakira and Toni. And they're in their little trio with Yasmin as well. And I'm sure it's a three-way thing between them, isn't it? When you lose one, you lose them all. Because you shouldn't just be able to treat friends like that in there. As everyone says, it's friendships and love interests are so important in there.
A friend of your enemy is not your friend.
Absolutely. And I think that
so
kind
true,
of
Queen.
clears up our little delusion of will Shakira and Harrison ever be a thing? No.
When you guys were coming up with that theory, I did think there's a hole in this because I just think Toni and Shakira they're too close, aren't they?
We're going to have to wait for All Stars, but at least that's an option these days.
Honestly, guys, I could talk about this forever. It was a fantastic episode
don't we
last
then?
night. It was.
You know what? We need a nap before movie night tonight.
We do.
We need to be alert and ready for movie night.
We will see you here tomorrow with the ginger shot so we can go over it.
I'll be caffeinated.
Yeah. And if you also cannot wait for movie night tonight, don't forget there'll be Love Island First Look some point this afternoon on YouTube and all the Love Island socials. And as always, we would love to hear from you. Leave your comments down below or email us at themorningafter@itv.com and we will see you here first thing tomorrow to talk about it all.
See you tomorrow.
Goodbye.